We're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Take 664.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the funding table, where we talk about lending, real estate, marriage, money, real life here in the heart of Texas. I'm your host, yours truly, Rosie Maaia.
Sammy, Maaia.
Thank you guys for tuning back in. We are so excited to talk about today's topic because I know that we get these questions to ask a lot, especially with our first-time home buyers. But before we get into the main topic, I want to kind of stress the importance of the very first thing that you should do when you're trying to purchase a home. And that is going to be get pre-approved. Okay? Sam, can you help us understand? I guess we can kind of tag team it if you want to, but
Sure.
let our viewers know what's the importance about getting pre-approved.
Well, it's very important to get pre-approved for many reasons. One, so that you know the budget that you're looking to shop within. You know, you can kind of get a realistic idea of the kinds of homes that you could purchase, get a realistic idea of monthly payment budgets that you might be comfortable with. Also get a realistic idea on if you're approved or not. You know, you might need to do a few things in order to become a home purchaser, become a homeowner. And so the whole idea of getting pre-approved first kind of gives you the insight on what you need to do, or let you know the parameters to remain within so that you could be a happy homeowner and not a miserable one.
I love that answer. And just to add too, I know that you focused a little bit on, you want to get an idea of what you can qualify for. And that is so important, especially when you're out there shopping around for a home. You definitely want to know what your max buying power is. And let's say, even if you do know what your max buying power is that within your monthly budget? Is that something that you feel comfortable paying per month? So getting pre-approved will kind of cover everything. Your budget, what does your budget look like? How much do you qualify for? What kind of loan programs are out there for you as a first-time home buyer, a second home-time buyer, an investor? You definitely want to know exactly, like Sammy said, if you qualify, and if not, what are the steps to be able to qualify? We let you know exactly how much you can qualify for once you do work on your credit, or save up a little bit of more funds. We definitely like to game plan and kind of put you on the right track so that you can be able to purchase.
And different loan programs have different, strategies involved with them. Different loan programs have different, outcomes or different goals to help the homeowner achieve. For example, if you're looking for the lowest out-of-pocket expense, we might be gearing towards a certain home program to help you bring the minimum amount of funds out of pocket. You could be looking for the lowest monthly payment, and we might be geared towards a different loan program to help you achieve the lowest monthly payment. You might be looking for a nice blend of a few different factors. And so each different program comes with its different strategies to help you achieve a different goal. You might have the goal of paying the minimum amount of taxes to the IRS this year and still becoming a homeowner. And
I see you, sis. I see you.
There's a different program, to help you achieve those goals. So the pre-approval is to, get your budget in mind, get the idea of becoming a homeowner solidified with you, see if it makes sense, and then to really narrow in on what your goals are so that we can make sure to strategize to achieve those goals rather than help you become the homeowner and miss all the goals in mind.
Yeah, that's so true. It's not a one size fits all when it comes to these loan programs. You have your amount of savings, you have your amount of funds that you get per month, such as your income. So it's truly tailored to you and your pockets.
If you get pre-approved, it's tailored to you.
If you get pre-approved, we make sure that the numbers are tailored to you. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, which is a good thing, right? Because you definitely want a loan officer like us to be able to tailor it to what it is that you want, right? Now, let's get into the topic that we wanted to talk about, right? I just wanted to cover a little bit of that pre-approval and why, kind of stress the importance of getting pre-approved. You've heard it 1,000 times, and this is 1,001 times now, okay?
Yeah. That reminds me of something that the Apostle Paul said. He says, for me to remind you or repeat these things to you, it's not burdensome to me. Matter of fact, it's beneficial for you. So I'm willing to repeat them so that you can continue to hear what's beneficial for you. So get pre-approved.
Amen. I love that. Paul didn't say get pre-approved, but you know.
Yeah.
Imagine.
That's true. Thank you for that.
Yeah, but we get this question all the time where, somebody's calling me and saying, hey, Rosie, I really want to get pre-approved. And they're like, yeah, I'm married, but I don't want my wife on the loan. And so we get this question all the time where, do I have to add my wife onto the loan? One. We'll go over that question. There's another question.
Spouse.
Or my spouse. It could be vice versa.
It could be the wife calling saying, I don't want to add my husband on the loan.
No, I've had those calls too. Yeah, it could be for whatever reasons. It could be that they foresee a divorce coming soon, and they don't want them to have ownership of the house.
I've even seen where they want to surprise the spouse, that they're going to buy a house and surprise them with it, so they don't want them to know about it.
Which, winner. Okay, you got a winner there.
Yeah.
So this is a really important question, and mind you, everything is hyper local. Here in the state of Texas, it's going to be different than any other states. I don't know what the other state laws are. I am not an attorney. Sammy's not an attorney. We cannot give legal advice. But here in Texas, what we've noticed when we do loans is that when you are legally married, you legally have to add them onto the title, your spouse onto the title.
Absolutely. Texas is considered a community property state. Mm-hmm. And so what that means is whatever the husband buys, the wife owns as well. Whatever the wife buys, the husband owns as well, regarding real estate. So if you bought a house without your wife and she's not on the loan, she's going to have a claim to ownership of the property. If you bought a house without your husband, but you guys are married, obviously he's going to have claims and rights to the property as well too, and that's specific to the state of Texas. Other states, like Rosie said, it might be different.
Yeah, it might be different, but here in Texas, yes, you will have to add them on the title. And even if you keep this information away from us as the loan officer, the title company will find out, the bank will find out. They are undercover agents when it comes to uncovering everything. They will uncover the skeletons in your closet, and they will find that you have a spouse, right?
And even if for some reason that ends up, going under the radar the full way, somehow, somewhere down the line, if there ever becomes a dispute over the property or anything like that, and you are married, and you guys were married at the time of purchase, that spouse is still going to have a legal claim to the property, period.
Yes, 100%.
In the state of Texas.
Yeah, in the state of Texas, as they should. Okay, I always say it's cheaper to keep them. Best believe it's cheaper to keep them, okay?
That's too funny.
Oh, no. So this is a little side rant, okay? I remember years ago, I was helping one of my clients, right? Purchase a house. It was a non-traditional type of financing. She told me that her husband's a doctor. That checked out. She gave me all the financials of the husband to be able to purchase a property that they were really looking at. It was a high ticket sales price. And she basically told me that the husband didn't have enough time to look over the paperwork, but she would handle everything in regards to the financing side, like providing documentation for us, that he would be there to sign at the day of closing because he does surgeries and this and that, right? So without question, I was like, okay, great, and there was really no red flags about it because she was able to provide all the documentation in such a timely manner. And so we make it through the whole entire loan process to find out at the day of closing, once we send a mobile notary out to his job to sign the closing documents, we find out that she's just been doing this all behind her back.
He had no idea.
She was doing this all behind his back and he had no idea. And so we were like, what? So the mobile notary calls us and says like, this guy doesn't even know that he's buying this house. And so I'm calling the wife and I'm like, that's absolutely absurd. Like, there's just no way that he doesn't know about this. And she confesses that, yeah, she was trying to do this behind his back because she wanted to leave him, but she wanted to buy a property before she made the move. And so that was unfortunate, but you get those cases every now and then. And let me tell you, she thought she was going to get away with it, but there's just no way to get away with that.
Moral of the story is to be on the same page with your spouse, be united, be of the same mind. If you guys are going to buy a house, do it together, or at least understand the pros and cons of, applying with or without your spouse, and don't try to do anything sneaky or shady behind your back and,
Right.
Involve authorities and things like that, and, potentially mark yourself to be performing mortgage fraud.
Right.
Those things are no bueno. And even though you see them every now and then, just be on the same page with your spouse. Period.
100%.
Does it make sense for me to apply with my spouse or without my spouse? And that in itself is, that's on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
It really matters on many different factors. It matters on loan program, loan type. It matters on down payment, desired down payment that you guys want to give. It matters on your credit profile. Are you the husband that's got, the super bad credit score, the wife took care of her credit, and you got a ton of different debts, a bunch of late payments? It's going to be tailored, case by case.
Right.
You might have a unique case where, it may make sense to, be on the loan without your spouse. In some cases, if you guys are, both strong and solid, it may make sense to be on the loan together as a, spouse, as a couple.
Right.
But in some cases too, depending on the nuance of the transaction, if, you say your spouse has a strong credit score and income, you have a strong credit score and income, but there may be some nuance with some of the debts, it still might make sense to only apply one, as opposed to applying jointly, a solo applicant. And so that's a case-by-case basis, but we see that question often. And once, we step on the line, or we hop into a call, or we sit in an appointment and we really discuss the goals, and we go through this whole pre-approval process and we talk about your goals, that's when a good loan officer should be able to give you the advice on whether applying jointly makes sense or applying, as a solo applicant. But regardless, if you're a solo applicant and you're married here in Texas, even if you're the solo applicant, your spouse will have a claim and rights and ownership to that property jointly with you, regardless if they're on the loan or not.
Yes. And sometimes it could be that one of the spouses is a W-2 employee, makes good income, has very minimal debts. It could be that the other spouse is self-employed, is writing off everything, doesn't make much, and has a lot of debt. So it kind of just depends case by case, like Sammy said, whether you should add your spouse to the loan or not. However, they will be added on title. So they'll still have legal ownership to the property.
That's right. I remember, when we first got married, I remember my wife, she was taking good care of her credit and, had put the time in and the effort to build it up, and I shot my credit to the ground. I did some crazy things with it. So, we were still able to buy property together and continue to buy property together. But, in some cases, it makes sense to be a solo applicant and a joint applicant. And that's a conversation that you need to have in depth with your loan officer, me, Rosie, whatever great loan officer that you decide to work with. And if you're not happy or not getting the strategy that may be beneficial to you, because some people won't point out the strategy, make a switch, get a second opinion. But these are definitely things that you need to be tackling during your pre-approval process, finding out what makes sense for you. Every scenario is different. Everyone has a different goal in mind. And
that's so true. Yeah, that's really true. And depending on how you go about it will affect your max approval amount. Benefit you adding your spouse to the loan, or there could be some disadvantages to it as well. So like Sammy said, it's really a case by case. You definitely want to talk to your loan officer about that. And another thing too that we get asked is, if somebody is engaged to be married, should I buy the house before I get married? Should I wait until we get married and qualify together? Now that question is a really good question, because that could also affect your max approval limit too, depending on whether you qualify with your future spouse or you wait until you guys are legally married to qualify together.
And it also really depends on your guys' goals. Like, if you guys are going to become real estate investors, or you're going to want to acquire a lot of real estate under your portfolio, there could be some benefit to buying a property first before coming together in marriage. There could be some cheaper ways to acquire property. While you guys are separate, you can acquire a property. She could acquire a property separately in a very affordable manner.
Yes.
And then that's a nice way to kind of grow your investment portfolio by getting the first two on the books quickly and affordably.
Right.
It could depend though. If you guys don't want to do that and you guys just want to get the forever home together that you're going to live in and raise kids in, and together you guys qualify for more, then it may make sense to, apply jointly or complete the marriage and be married and purchase the first property together.
Right.
There's all kinds of strategies that could be used, whether you're just looking to get your forever home or whether you're looking to invest in real estate and acquire a portfolio of real estate and own properties. There's the buying properties before you get married. There's the buying property together, live in it, and then upgrading to the next one to live in it, and then upgrading to the next one while still keeping those first properties as investments. It does depend on your goal and what you're aiming for. Again, this is all why it's so important to get pre-approved. It's so important to talk about these strategies with your loan officer.
1000%.
And it's so important to get the proper advice to help you achieve certain goals, because if you're not talking about these goals or your loan officer doesn't know how to help you achieve these goals in the most cost-effective manner,
then next.
Yeah, you might get the house or might get a house, maybe not the budget you were looking for. You might still be able to get the house, but the next 2 or 3 as far as to acquire as real estate investors may be very difficult for you because you didn't plan ahead properly or you weren't working with somebody that was giving you the best advice to meet your long-term goals.
Yes, that's true. So ladies, if you're going to wait, to get married, that should probably be the only reason why you wait, right? Is trying to buy separate properties separate, before getting married. I would highly recommend.
Otherwise, make sure he puts a ring on it.
That's right, baby. Yeah, so it's really it's the most important thing is strategizing, getting pre-approved, really knowing where you stand, and even talking to your loan officer as to what you guys want, right? Because it's all tailored to you. It's not a one size fits all kind of thing. So it's definitely important to talk to your loan officer, get this information down, strategize with your loan officer. And like Sammy said, if you're not getting that information, cut him out.
Next.
All right? Yes. Now, once you are approved, there's really important things that you should kind of not do while you are approved.
Not do?
And you shouldn't do.
There's some really important things that you should not do.
That you should not do. Correct. Yes, Sam. And that is, for one, don't change your name during this loan process. It's not going to stop the loan process completely, but it does, cause a few delays, right?
The next thing that you should do is go out and buy that Corvette.
No.
Go out and buy that Corvette, that $1,000 monthly payment. Do it.
Don't do it, guys.
It's only going to help your loan process.
No. Don't do that, okay?
Don't do that.
That's what you shouldn't do when you're in your loan process.
That's true. I'm just kidding, guys.
Yeah, do not, because that is negatively going to impact your approval.
So do not go and open up new accounts. Do not buy the new luxury car.
Right.
Do not open up the credit card.
You guys, don't open up a new Lowe's account to finance the fridge that you don't even have a house to yet, right?
Do not open up the Affirm, the Afterpays, the Buy Now, Pay Later. All of those things are going to count against you and could negatively affect your pre-approval. And I've seen it. I've seen it happen. And we've heard the stories. They get the car at the very end of the transaction just before closing on the house.
Yes.
They end up not getting approved for the house because they got the car, and now they're off in the wind with a brand new car, no house.
Yeah, and sometimes they're like, oh, my sister really needed that car, and she wasn't going to get approved until I signed, so I co-signed for her, but she's making the payment, don't worry. And it's like, no, brother.
You didn't strategize effectively.
No, that's now your car. Your sister could have waited a month or two, But these are things that can negatively impact your credit. So don't open up new accounts. Don't change your name. Don't change your employment. Try not to...
Do not change your employment.
Try not to change your employment. Yeah, don't do it.
But there are some cases where certain of these things may have to happen.
Right.
But before they happen, speak with us so that we could let you know, like, okay, look, this thing happened. You had to open up this new credit card, minimum monthly payment. That's fine. You're going to still be qualified with it. Or you're getting a job promotion and you're, going up in the company. You're going to get a higher income. Okay, those things could be a benefit. Or this company's shutting down, but you're going to go start at this new company. Same kind of job. Like, there are situations in which it doesn't necessarily stop you from purchasing the home.
Right.
But speak with your loan officer before it goes down, because it might stop you from getting the home. So we need the details.
Yeah, it's important. Just be very transparent and open in communication with your loan officer, because this makes a lot of difference. This makes a world of a difference.
Our goal is to help you get the house, not stop you from getting the house.
Correct.
So before you make any crazy changes, contact your loan officer, because we're trying to help you get this house.
1000%. And let me tell you too, another thing that we see here in Laredo, because Laredo is big on this and everybody loves to go to Vegas and spend that money. Do not blow your down payment in Vegas, okay? If you're gonna bet on something, bet on yourself to get that house, okay?
That's right.
Bet on yourself to get that house. Stay home. Don't spend any money. Eat a little bit of ramen, a little bit of sandwich. Eat at home. It's good for you. Just bet on yourself to get that house.
We're gonna help you get the house. We're going to help you get the right numbers, get the comfortable monthly payment. Yes. We're going to put you in a position to help you save. And then in a couple months, if everything is going well, which it should be, then you could take that little trip to Vegas and have a little bit of fun. But let's get the house first.
Yes, let's get the house first, guys. So if you learned anything from this episode, please share, like, comment below. Let us know if there's any topics that you want us to cover. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you on the next one.
We're out.
We're out.